Go ahead.
Hey, welcome back, Raider Nation. This is Jeff, New England Raider Boosters, here in the house, along with my guy.
LV Raider 10, baby. What's up?
Welcome back for episode number 6 here. We're gonna go over. No, I'm pointing. I gotta point that way. Sorry.
Yeah.
We
Well, that way.
we're gonna go over the KC Raider game first from Friday, Black Friday game, and then we're gonna give you a little preview of the game coming up this weekend between Tampa Bay and Tampa Bay. So, how was your weekend, buddy? How you been? How was your
It was
Thanksgiving? I
good.
know you're away.
Yeah, I went to go see some family out in Arizona, so it was a good time. Honestly, had a good time out there. It was good. It was nice to see some family. Haven't seen them in a while since they moved out there, but yeah, it was fun. Honestly, Arizona is a lot of fun, a lot more fun than I expected, to be honest. But dangerous. I'll say that. That's it. That's all I gotta say is dangerous. What about you? What did you guys were up to
Yeah,
this past holiday?
we were here at the house.
Oh, nice.
My mom came up. Um, my daughter and my son-in-law they live upstairs, and then my son and his wife and my our granddaughter they live right up the street
Oh, nice.
in an apartment there. So they came over. So we were all here for Thanksgiving. So it was a good day.
Oh, really
Got to
cool.
spend it with my granddaughter. That's all that matters. I love that little girl to death.
Oh,
So I
awesome.
may look like a big tough rough asshole, but I'm a teddy bear at heart with her. She's got me. She's got me.
uh, yeah, I
So
get. Yeah, so I mean, let's
yeah.
go
So no,
over
it was
this
a good
game.
holiday.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was a
Yeah,
great
man. Let's
holiday.
get started.
Yeah, so obviously the Raiders found a way to lose, and I don't know what it is with this season, but they always seem to find a way to lose. So the Black Friday game, it looked really good the entire game, but the Raiders end up losing to the Chiefs 17-19. And uh if you want to go ahead and just give us like your thoughts on the game as an overall real quick. I mean, obviously there's a lot to talk about this game, a lot.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I mean, if we lost again, I mean, it's in Kansas City, so I mean, it is a very tough place to play, but we always play them well, no matter how bad we are. And obviously, this year we're god awful.
Mhm.
So I mean, we almost pulled it off. We lost by 2 points, but again, a loss
Yep.
is a loss.
Yep.
Um, I saw a lot of improvement overall with this team on both sides of the ball.
Mhm.
Um, the only position that was lacking, obviously, was our kickers. I'm not going to talk so much about them this week. I jinxed us
Yeah.
last week. Anybody that watches the Raider Connection show that the two of us are on, along with Cheeto and Raider Jay, um, I hyped up our kicker Carlson big time last Wednesday night, and man, did I pay the price for it on Friday.
That's all right, man.
Um, so I feel as though I jinxed them. So that was the only weak spot, really, to be honest with you. I mean, O'Connell played great,
Mhm.
didn't make any mistakes. I mean, I can't blame him for that last play, and I can't blame that game on the refs. There's no everybody's saying it. The refs blew it for no. That game was ours to win. We should have won it 3 field goal attempts before.
Honestly.
I mean, we had 3 chances to win that game. He hits
Yeah.
one of those 3 that he misses, we win
We
that
win.
game by 1
Yep.
point.
Exactly.
Yep. So it was a 9-point swing missing those field goals, and Carlson's usually on the money, and just he had a bad day. It
Mhm.
happens. I get it. So I can't lay the blame like everybody's like, oh, the ref screwed us. Yeah, I mean it was kind of a bullshit call. But the more you analyze it, the more you look at it. There's a guy that there's a show that Captain Jack does where this guy's on there called the Ref Guru, and he former involved with the officials with the NFL. I mean, he knew how the rules go, and he laid it all out one day. I watched the show, and I'm like, okay, it kind of makes sense then, I guess.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the reason we lost. We didn't lose it because of that.
No.
But I mean, again, overall play looked good both sides.
Yeah,
What's
definitely.
your feel?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, the Raiders just find ways to lose. And to me, honestly, like even though Carlson did miss those kicks, you can't I can only give so many excuses for, 3 attempts, of course. But they were very, I mean, rather long in the cold weather. That ball doesn't travel very well in cold weather. And I mean,
Yep.
you can say all these kind of excuses, but you do have to hit one. Carlson is, like you said, has normally been on the money on long kicks, especially too. He's been pretty accurate. And the ball just did not fall through the uprights for whatever reason. But to me, the biggest blunder of this entire uh, game happened at the end on that fumble. And that to me
Yeah.
was the mismanagement by Antonio Pierce by wanting to run another play rather than getting up to the line, make sure everybody's set, make sure everybody is good, spike the ball at however many seconds that gives you. I know it's probably more than what you had wanted, but you still get up on them and they're left with a little less than 10 seconds maybe. And you at that point you
Yeah.
just take that chance. To me, you got to take that chance. So that's where
Well,
I
I mean,
think.
and his explanation at the end of the game too, because we just wanted to run the play and throw it out of bounds.
Yeah, like
What?
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
get that. That doesn't even make any sense. And like, call a timeout. I mean, unless he was really worried about Carlson not hitting that field goal. I mean, if I was the head coach and I knew that we were going to run Carlson out there, I think I said it last late in our show. I would have been like, let's get the ball down the 3 yard line so we know he's not going to miss. It's like
Yeah,
because that was my biggest worry is that is he going to even hit this one?
right.
But I mean, his response to why that happened, but then you got JPJ out there taking the blame for it. So he's a
Yeah.
stand up kid. Then you've got O'Connell saying, no, that was my fault. I clapped for the ball. So it's like, all right, I mean, what really transitioned that caused that to happen?
Mhm.
It happens. Are we really upset that we lost? Well, people that want that better draft pick, it's still a bonus, okay outcome
Right.
because we still hold our position. We actually moved to number 2 now,
Right.
so we didn't really lose anything, you know. So if we would have won that game, we would have moved up to like number 5,
Mhm.
so
Right.
anybody that's got aspirations to get either one of those 2 quarterbacks, and that's a conversation for another time. Um,
We've
I
talked
already
plenty
got
about
beat up
that,
on it pretty
honestly.
hard last and
Oh, I know.
yeah,
Last night, everybody was coming for you
that would
last
have hurt
night.
us.
Honestly.
Dude, I was taking on some heat last night. But yeah, I just I'll have my own take on that again for sure. But it
Yeah.
just we did what we needed to do. We put on a good show. I mean, the team looked sharp
Mhm.
in all aspects, like I said.
Yeah.
But
And right here, like I said earlier too, the clock management was really bad. Like I said, Antonio Pierce needs to be better on that. And I know that's one of the reasons that, a lot of people are asking for his job now. I don't know. I
yeah,
mean, he's made like a couple of pretty big kind of bad decisions. Like in the
hmm
beginning of at the Chargers game, putting the ball. Obviously this one against the Chiefs, and then of course there's others I can't think of right off the top of my head right now, but he's definitely had made some questionable decisions. I don't think that they're enough to want to fire him exactly, but I don't know. There still needs to be addressed at least. But let's go
yeah,
ahead and go around to the all around good play. Of course, starting with Brock Bowers here. Brock Bowers, hold on, let me put this away. Brock Bowers, 10 receptions, 140 yards, and 1 touchdown, and he looked like a monster again. What is your
yeah.
feeling?
He bounced back. Yeah, he bounced back from that Denver game. Denver took him out of that game. I mean, they put Patrick Surtain on him. That made a big difference. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he was basically invisible. He had 4 catches the week of Denver, and then he comes out with a 10 catch game on 14 targets.
Yeah.
You know, 140 yards and a touchdown. I mean, those are the games we've been getting from him. The downside is that that's what everybody's going to expect from him every week. I mean, he's only human. He's only going to be able to do so much.
Right.
We don't really have a lot of other weapons that can take the pressure off of him,
Mm-hmm.
but he's still catching anything that gets thrown next to him or
Yeah.
near him pretty much.
His catch radius
You know,
is
it, it
insane.
yeah, I mean, he's now where does he sit on here? Because I got a list up here of receiving.
Oh, he's like third
So
in receiving
even
yards?
yeah, he's number 1 in catches.
Yeah.
Um, that's before tonight's game. I don't know what Amon-Ra's got, but
Mm,
Amon-Ra had 76 before this game started.
okay.
Bowers is at 84 catches, 864 yards, 4 TDs
Mhm.
on 113 targets. All
Yeah.
right. So you think about this. So 84 catches based on 113 throws to him. That's a pretty damn impressive, completion, or
Yeah,
reception versus targets ratio.
exactly.
Whereas then you look at somebody like CeeDee Lamb, who's got, yeah, 79 receptions, but he's also got 11 more targets, 124.
Right.
So that's a big difference.
Yeah, it
So
is.
right now in catches, Bowers sits at number one. I mean,
Oof.
he's still on pace to break all the rookie records. I
Yeah.
mean, the kid is phenomenal. He's definitely shown he was the right pick for us.
Yes,
Some
definitely.
people would discuss, so what if we took Bo Nix instead of him? With our system that we had in place this year, Bo Nix wouldn't be what he is now. Bo Nix went to the
No.
right place, right coach. If
Yeah,
he
for
was with
sure.
us, we wouldn't get that wouldn't be the same player.
No, for
You
sure.
know, Bowers is just Bowers is phenomenal. I mean, he's just one of those generational talents. I love the kid. Absolutely love him.
Yeah, he's a great talent, and honestly, it's a great consolation prize for not getting our franchise quote unquote quarterback this past draft, honestly, because now it's something we can go ahead and continue to build this roster around. Because, like I know you said it,
Mhm.
we're not just a quarterback away. We're not just like one, two
No, we
players
got a
away.
lot of work with
So yeah, so definitely, so this for sure helps. It gets more offensive weapons going. And another offensive weapon that went off this past game was your guy, Aiden O'Connell, right here. 25 for 35, 40, and two tubs. What do you? I know you are a
and
big
the big
Aiden
thing,
O'Connell
no
fan.
interceptions.
No interceptions. That is
I
very
am.
true. I know you're a big Aiden O'Connell guy.
He looked
So yeah, tell me about this game
mhm.
right here.
He looked comfortable. He really did.
Very.
He looked comfortable as all could be back there. Um, he had obviously based on 340 yards to throw. Granted, I know he had one deep one to Tucker, right?
Mm,
I keep
yeah.
getting these two confused.
Yeah, Turner and Tucker.
To Tucker, I know the two
Yeah.
T's. Um, he had that one big pass play to him, but still, he threw for 340 yards.
Yeah.
He had time to throw. The line gave him time to let the plays develop and get it downfield. And that's even with Chris Jones on the defense trying to get his ass through the line.
Yeah, for sure.
Chris Jones is Chris Jones. The guy's unbelievable as a defensive tackle. Well, and I mean, he's there's not much you can say bad about the guy.
Hmm.
But our offense did a pretty decent job. I don't even did he get he I don't think he got what did he get 3 sacks? I think he got sacked 3 times.
It was something rather low like that, honestly. I'm not sure
Yeah,
off the top of
I
my
know
head, but
Mahomes got sacked 5 times. That was awesome.
5 times. That's good.
But yeah, I think AOC looked good. Which is why some people be like, "Oh, you're gonna push him to be the quarterback next year after one game." No, but you look at the last 2 games he's played against two of the top defenses. He did okay.
Yeah.
Granted, I mean Denver was Denver. We kind of gave that game away too. But I'm still impressed with him. You he's shown
Yeah.
progress. Let's see what happens this weekend.
Yeah, he definitely looked very good this week against the Chiefs, and that's pretty big because the Chiefs are one of the best defenses in this league. And there was some I said it yesterday, there was some throws that I wish he didn't make, but then there was some like the Jacoby Myers throw that we were talking about yesterday as well that he looked like he just zipped it in there, put it only where he can catch it. So as long
Mhm.
as he can stay consistent, I'm honestly excited to see what he does for the rest of the year because the rest of these games are not against great defenses. So if he can light them up,
No,
the conversation gets a little bit more hot. The stove gets a little bit more hot about, hey, do we keep him? What's going on? But yeah, so let's go ahead and continue on the offensive train here. And
yeah,
let's talk about the Raiders rushing game. The Raiders rushed for over 100 yards and is the only second time this season that they have done that.
yeah.
And that's pretty huge because the Raiders have had zero rushing attack this entire season. It feels like
It's
they
getting
have
too
not been able
visible.
to run the ball at all so far this year.
Yeah.
So who do you think is the main component of this revamped rushing offense? Running backs, offensive line. What is your take?
Um, if I have to actually say the reason I think the running game's taken off the last couple of weeks, I think it's Philbin being the offensive line coach,
Mm,
training these guys right, getting them, to adapt to whatever it is they're running for plays now.
yeah.
Switching what looks like they're running this pure power blocking scheme.
Right.
So I think he's one of the biggest hands in this. Yeah, I'm sure Turner is obviously, because he's calling the right plays based on the personnel that's in there.
Right.
McCormick looked awesome in my eyes on Friday. His
Yes.
field vision is good. Like he's giving the play time to develop as he's looking through his progressions as he's running the ball,
Mm-hmm.
and he's automatically looking and seeing that the hole's not there and then breaking it outside. I mean, he had a couple of good runs out to the right, out to the left hand side,
Oh yeah.
breaking it wide and gaining some yards in first downs. I mean, the kid's at rushing average this weekend was I think it was it 6 something or was that the week before? I think the week before was like a 6.5 or 6.7 um, yardage per carry.
Mm-hmm.
This week it was in the fives. He's still got, an extremely high average per rush.
Yeah.
Granted, he's only got minimal attempts right now, but
Right.
still, I mean, the kid looks like he's got a promising rest of the season at least until we decide what's going to happen.
Oh, for
He
sure.
should be the number one running back in the backfield. In all honesty, give him a break when when it's on third down. If you want to put in Abdullah, I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because Abdullah is a better catcher out of the backfield, but I'm sure
Yeah.
McCormick will get better with that too.
Yeah. Definitely.
The running game's like night and day. We
Yeah.
had no running game before the coaches that got fired got fired.
Honestly, it seems like exactly like you said, completely different. Um, to me, it's kind of a combination of both the offensive line as well as the running backs because, like you said, McCormick really finds the hole and is able to hit it um, more successfully than like Zamir White has. He just like runs to the back of the offensive lineman, honestly. But then also you
Yeah,
bring in JPJ and he's moving people off the line. So the combination of like two different components in this offense, it honestly it's making a lot of a difference. It's and we can see it every Sunday because whenever McCormick gets the ball, he looks like he's ready to break one off, and I'm waiting for him to break off
yeah.
that one big play and honestly solidify him on the next season's roster. So as
Well,
we're
I
talking
mean,
about McCormick here, hold on, I'm gonna bring up his stuff real quick. So he had 12 attempts, 64 yards, and then like we were saying, he was very impressive. But go ahead, my bad.
yeah. No, that's fine. No, interrupt whenever you have to. I don't care. Um, the the good sign about McCormick now, if you think about it, is the fact that we signed him to the active roster now.
Hmm.
So it's like he's going to be here to stay now. At this point, they can't put him back on the practice squad now because I think they're only allowed X amount of times throughout the season to keep moving them like that.
Right.
So he's in that position now. Whether he's used as a number one or number two back, who knows? But either
What's
way, the
good?
kid's definitely, yeah. I'm fine with it. I just can't wait to see how the rest of the season, ends up. What's
Yeah.
up, Raph?
Yeah, definitely. Like we were saying, McCormick looked super good this week, and I'm honestly excited to see where he continues to develop from here on out. He's
Hmm.
obviously had a lot to go through. He's been on the team since I think it was like 22 or something like that, and he's battled through some injuries. So it's nice to see him, finally come to his own right now. But let's go ahead and
Yeah,
continue on this offensive, take right here, and we'll go ahead and spotlight Jacoby Myers, who has had another good day. 6 receptions for 97 yards, and he is like I've always said, he's probably the best number two receiver in this league, honestly, and he continues to show it. I mean, obviously, you want him to be more of a complementary piece to your number one kind of guy, but he's doing pretty good with his number one projection right now. Obviously, our number one guy is Brock Bowers, but still, Jacoby Myers
Yeah.
has still been pretty good on the outside.
I mean, you traditionally want that number one wide receiver, and he's forced into that number one position because DA's gone, and I don't miss him at all. I think we're actually better without him,
Yeah,
um, which is tough to say based on the talent that DA is.
yeah,
But I knew when McDaniel's brought, oh, I'm sorry, not McDaniel's, McDumdum, when he brought over Myers from New England, I knew we were getting a good receiver.
uh
Living
huh,
in New England and seeing what the Patriots did with him, and seeing how good of a player he really was on a team that really didn't have a lot of talent.
mm-hmm.
This kid was good.
Oh
I
yeah,
was completely happy with that move, having picking him up. I thought for sure that was a great move, and it's still paying dividends now, even though McDumbass is gone. We're still that's the one benefit of somebody that he brought over
mm-hmm.
to this team that's excelling and wants to be here.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
like playing for us. He's a leader in the locker room. I'm happy with him. He had a great game this weekend. Six catches for 97 yards is on this team with this offense. That's pretty damn good. From your number one wide receiver, as
Oh
far as
yeah,
I'm concerned. You
definitely.
know, I'm happy with him. I
I
really am. Now, if
yeah,
we can get a bona fide number one wide receiver and he moves back over as the number two guy,
mm-hmm.
that number one guy is going to draw double more than likely if he's that big of a target. And now you've got him over there by himself on single coverage. He's going to be even more productive,
Oh for
you
sure.
know? And
Yeah,
that's why, getting another wide receiver adds more value to Brock Bowers, because who are you going to double
yep,
up out of whoever the three are, you know?
exactly.
So
Pick your
I,
poison.
I, I was impressed with Jacoby. Jacoby's a good dude.
Yeah, definitely. I've already said, I've said it a bunch of times. Jacoby is a great player, and like you said, he wants to be here, and that says a lot, honestly. Like a player that wants to play for a team will
Mhm.
give his all, and I've already spotlighted a couple times. Jacoby blocks well enough, and then he has the want to block, and he has the want for the team success. So that's pretty
Yep.
big, honestly. But let's go ahead and move over to the other side of the ball, and let's talk about what we kind of already said a little bit at. But the defense provided a lot of pressure against Patrick Mahomes, and they sacked him
Yeah, they did.
5 times, which I believe is the second, or is tied for the most times that Patrick Mahomes has been sacked in one single game. So where was this pressure coming from?
I mean, like the usual, it's coming from Max. I mean, how many times did Max get in the backfield and didn't sack him, but still laid a hand on him?
Exactly.
I mean, the defense overall played well. We were getting pressure on him, and it showed because he was getting aggravated. They weren't moving the ball like they normally do. Again, this offense for Kansas City has been kind of lackluster compared to what it's been in the past. This
Mm-hmm.
is the year of their defense, and I'm sorry, but the defense doesn't look very good either, though.
No.
On Friday, but yeah, Mahomes is not the same type of player. Um, he also doesn't have this a lot of. He doesn't have the same weapons he's had too. He's had a mishmash of players are running in the set, running for running backs.
Right.
So it's it's a different team, and our defense is only getting better. Even with all the
Definitely.
injuries. Now, again, another game. Imagine if Wilkins was still there. There's been a different. It would have been a
And
different game. Would have
and
been
our
even more
corners.
pressure on him. Yeah, it would have been even more pressure on him.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know, I know people keep touting that Tyree's getting better. I mean, he's still
He's a
he's not
ways.
he's not a bust yet,
Yeah.
but man, he's still slowly getting there. He's still missing something. Like
Yeah.
he still needs that little extra oomph to him.
I think if he wants to stay at the edge position, he's gonna have to lose some weight, because he needs to get faster off the line. You can see multiple times if
Mm.
you watch him specifically, and the ball is snapped, he's like a B off or a B and a half off, and that is super like That is the difference between getting to the backfield, getting a sack, and getting blocked out of the play. So
Yeah.
I think if he wants to stay at that edge position, he's gonna have to either cut some weight or I don't know get faster or something. But if they want to move him inside, keep Coons on the outside, move him inside right next to Christian Wilkins, and use his strength, which is what he
Yeah.
was known for coming out of Texas Tech. His big body, big frame strength. He's gonna have to put on some weight. So it honestly it depends on his development and where they want to use him. But
Hmm.
that's kind of my take on Tyree Wilson. But another person that is just a give a round of applause to Tom Telesco is Caleb on Chason right off of the
Oh my
practice
God,
squad.
yeah.
Caleb on
The kid's
Chason
been a
has been,
godsend.
oh my God, he has been incredible for the Raiders down the stretch so far. Yeah,
Yep.
I that is just a great pickup by Tom Telesco. And from what we had last year when we thought we had zero depth at the pass rush position, now, looking forward, we have a ton with Snowden, Chason, Coons if we keep him, Tyree Wilson, of course, Max, and then up front, guys like um, Christian Wilkins and Butler
Don't
and
forget Spillane too.
Spillane in the back. Like, I think he's continuing to, build this defense. Obviously, stuff has not worked out this year with injuries, and we kind of been, behind the eight ball in injuries predominantly. But if we get everybody together and everybody's healthy, that defense is going to be scary. Honestly,
Well, you got to think about this too. With our injuries in the secondary, especially, this game was lined up for Mahomes to have one of those superstar games because our
right?
secondary is so beat up.
Exactly.
Yet they still they still couldn't get a lot of they couldn't get a shit ton of yardage on us like you would have expected. Kelsey's still Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
He's always done a number on us. Look at the earlier this year in the first game we played them. He hadn't done crap all season. He comes and plays us, and we're always his get well game. It seems like because
Yeah.
we're horrible against tight ends, which is what scares me this weekend.
Right.
We're always horrible against tight ends, no matter who the fuck they are. We've always had issues covering tight ends, and Kelsey always kills us. He didn't have like his superstar type of game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I didn't even know what he put up for stats. Now I want to look because
Yeah, that's a good point, honestly. Because
I didn't.
honestly, he did not seem to have like the game he normally puts up against the Raiders,
No, no,
but
not at
he
all.
still was he was there for sure, obviously. But
Yeah,
normally we expect like from Travis Kelsey against the Raiders is like 2, 3 touchdowns, like over 100 yards,
yeah.
kind of crazy stuff like that. But yeah, he did not have his normal Raider kind of game.
Where is he? It's 7 for 68. Granted, 7 catches, but he only 68 yards, 0 TDs.
Yeah,
His longest catch was for 24 yards. You know,
yeah,
so I mean, he didn't have. So you take that one long catch away, he's only at like 44 yards for the day
yeah.
on 6 catches at that point. So
Mm-hmm.
he didn't have like a superstar day like he's had in the past. You know, Hopkins had 4 for 90. You know, he had that one long catch for
Yeah.
34. Everybody else was all mediocre, like 4 for 58. Worthy was 5 for 54. So I mean, nobody really blew it out of the water.
Yeah.
Granted, Mahomes threw for 306 yards,
Mm-hmm.
but he also attempted 46 passes to 26 completions. So his QB rating was crap.
Yeah.
One TD, no interception, but the sacks killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Five
Definitely.
sacks. I mean, the defense was on fire.
Yep. It was a great showing by the defense.
Yep, another
Um,
game we should have won.
yeah, definitely. Um, I believe that's it for that game. Obviously, we want to move on from all the
Yeah.
losses. It's kind of hard, in the position we're at, with the draft and where we thought and where we wanted to be in this season.
Hmm.
It's been a very turbulent season, but let's go ahead and look forward to Tampa Bay. Oh, wrong one. Tampa Bay just squeaked one out against the Carolina Panthers, who admittedly beat the Raiders pretty badly in Las Vegas. So,
They
what do we
whooped
think
us.
about Tampa Bay versus Carolina and coming out of a very, very close game?
Um, I think our offense versus their defense, I think we match up pretty good.
Mhm.
Um, Especially Jacoby. I think all around really between the passing game and the running game, depending on how they use McCormick in this. I think we match up pretty good against their defense. Um, our defense against their offense, I'm a little bit more worried about that one,
Uh-huh.
mainly because of their receivers. With Godwin and Evans, those are two very good seasoned wide receivers that are going up against the young secondary and the banged up, damaged secondary.
Yeah.
So that worries me. And then I said it last night. I think the X factor for Tampa Bay is possibly going to be Kate Otten, their tight
Mhm.
end.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good tight end. Mayfield knows how to use him. I think that's the difference maker in this game. We've got a chance to get, excuse me, to get burned in this game on the passing game. That's my biggest fear.
Yeah.
Katie, where are you, Katie? What did you do last week? That's what I want to look at. I want to see how he did against Carolina. Where are you? Carolina game. Where the hell is it? Oh, here it is. All right. So let's see. That was in Carolina too.
Right.
So he didn't have. He was 4 for 20 last game. But again, I mean, Tampa Bay ran the ball. That's our other big issue is if it looks like Irving's going to play.
Yeah,
Um,
Irving is going to
he had
play.
25 carries for 152 yards and a TD against Carolina last week.
Yeah, that's gonna be my X factor if he gets to play. I said it
Yeah.
yesterday. If he's going to, and in which I think, like you said, he is going to play. That's gonna be the X factor for Tampa Bay, because
Hmm.
they had. I was listening to the Locked On Raiders podcast. I know a lot of Raider Nation does. Q Myers. He had the Locked On Tampa Bay guy on. He was saying that Tampa has had a bottom, I think, like 10 rushing offense the past like 3-4 years. So the
Yeah.
emergence of Bucky Irving has been like great for them as well, and he's been looking like a really good pickup for Tampa Bay. So that is the key for me, as well as Mike Evans. Mike Evans is one of those uh, tough receivers and a really good receiver for a long time. And with our banged up secondary, I think they're gonna target Cameron Richardson a lot, like just like he has been targeted for the past 2-3 weeks, I believe.
Yep. Yeah. Last week, what did Evans do? Evans had a good day. 8 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown. I
Yeah,
mean, that's pretty damn good.
that's pretty good. Yeah.
And even Irving out of the backfield, 3 catches, 33 yards on
Mm,
top of the 152 for rushing.
right.
So I mean, this is Tampa Bay's they're in a shitty division.
Yeah.
So then nobody's really running away with it now. I mean, they're six and
No.
six in their division, and I think they're tied for the lead, or they
The
got the.
lead.
Oh
Yeah.
no, they're in first place. They are in first place in the South. You know, uh, this is I don't know. You see what Evans does. You know, I still think we match up pretty damn good with them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at what Thielen did against their defense. 8 catches, 99 yards, and a touchdown.
Mm.
Bryce Young threw for almost 300 yards. 298 yards and a
Damn.
touchdown. No interceptions. Did he get sacked? What do we have for sacks?
Yeah, I know that Tampa Bay's mainly their secondary has been really banged up, and they have to pick up players off of like their practice squad, and
Yeah.
players that they normally don't have to depend on, because that's what they were talking about earlier today too. Like I mentioned, um,
One sack. They sacked
one
him one
sack.
time.
Yeah, they have not been getting good pressure on the quarterback. That's what it says right there.
Yeah,
Um,
so I mean, for Tampa Bay, it's their offense that scares me. Their
oh
defense,
yeah,
like I said, I think we're gonna do. Bowers, I think, is gonna fucking own them.
yeah, exactly. I think Bowers should go off because they don't have any linebackers right now. Everyone has been hurt, and they can't really cover. They can't depend on only Antoine Winfield. Like he can't be everywhere at
No,
once. So Bowers should have a good game hypothetically, and I'm really hoping to see that because that is one of the things
What's up,
that I
John?
think that the Raiders need to do if they expect to win this game.
Hmm.
Which I already said I want the Raiders to win, but if they don't, I don't know.
The other thing I just looked up too, um, Carolina sacked Mayfield 4 times.
Wait, Carolina sacked Mayfield 4 times.
Yep, one,
Wow,
2, 3, 4. Yep.
that's pretty significant, especially with the pressure that the
Yeah,
Raiders defense was
Clowney had
putting up.
one, Barno had one, Wallace had one, and Smith Wade had one. No, not Smith Wade. Jewell had one. So 4 sacks, four
Wow.
sacks on Mayfield, and he's a little wiry little dude too. So I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
you know he's got the chance to
he extends
to
some
break a
plays.
run here and there.
Yeah, he
Yeah, I
does.
mean, last time we saw him was when he got to LA on a Wednesday and played us. I think it was a Thursday. Some ridiculous time frame. He was only there for like less than 48 hours and he beats us. It's like, are you
Yeah,
shitting me?
I was there.
You know,
I
is the
I
same thing going to happen this time?
recall.
Is he still going to have our number again? I hope not.
Well, they don't have Van
you know,
Jefferson on the Bucks, so that's good.
yeah, yeah,
No Van Jefferson. He doesn't scare us anymore. Um,
no, no.
But yeah, let's go ahead and we already talked a little bit about the difference makers for Tampa Bay, but let's go ahead and do the offensive line play for the Raiders. Their play has definitely improved. We kind of touched on, what they did in the rushing attack, but they've definitely improved since the bye here. And I seen a graphic, I think it was on Instagram. I can't remember. It might have been Pro Football Focus, but Colton Miller was one of the five or four offensive tackles from last week that didn't give up a pressure,
Hmm.
which is crazy. Which is because he's been having a pretty bad year so far. But
Yeah,
to
he's got that shoulder injury, and you can see it's affecting him.
exactly, but that's really good sign. To have Colin Miller at least get back to the level we expect him to play at.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the offensive line definitely looks better. I mean, I even as much, and as well as anybody that watches us, um, I've been on Parham's ass
Yeah.
for weeks, and how much I
Yes.
just think he's not it.
Hmm.
Um, I even gave him compliments on Friday, which was huge for me.
Yesterday, I heard
Um,
that too. I think everybody was surprised yesterday that he did that.
he that one play where he pulled to the left side and he got a nice seal block and it worked out pretty good. McCormick got some yardage out of it, so I was impressed at how fast he moved too, how quick he got off the ball and made that play.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's better on Friday. Let's see what happens this week. I mean, I watch him like a hawk watches a mouse down in the small. I mean, I do when I watch him play. I don't like I said, I don't get to watch the games that much on Sundays because I'm at the bar with the rest of the Booster Club members.
Uh-huh.
But when I get a chance, usually on Monday or Tuesday, I'll rewatch the game. As bad as the game can be sometimes, I'll still
Yeah.
rewatch it. And I just can on him when I watch it.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, it's brutal. I want us to win. Also, tanking is not the Raiders' way, nor is it the way to success. Yeah, I agree. Change this team. We need the best available players throughout the draft. Yeah, I agree 100%, John. I've got my take on he. I don't know if you were here, John, at the beginning of this, but I've definitely got my take on on what I think we should do in the draft, and it wasn't very popular last night. as,
Yeah.
as LV rated Ten can attest for it,
Yeah.
I got one beat up last night
Yeah, last night,
in
let's
this
just
guy.
say Jeff had a very insane take, but honestly, not a take that I haven't seen before though, which is
Yeah,
why I was kind of surprised that I seen so many people in the chat from last night act so like um negative towards it. So like I don't know. I don't think it's like that bad to be honest because considering if AOC does go off these next couple of weeks, that like I said, that narrative is gonna start showing up a lot more if he continues
Hell
to.
yeah.
Yeah, but
And who's gonna look like a smart guy? This guy. And if he sucks, who's gonna look like an idiot? This guy.
just
Oh,
like the Daniel Carlson and AJ
yeah,
Cole
don't
takes.
remind me. Do you want me to pull my paper bag back out? It's right
Yes,
here.
let's see it. Let's see the paper bag
No,
out.
I paid the price. I'm done. I jinxed us and we lost Friday. But yeah, I mean, nobody. I don't want to see us tank either. I want to see us keep
No.
winning.
Yeah,
You know.
I don't want us to see his tank either. Like I've always said it as well that I want to see the Raiders win every game no matter how it affects our draft position and no matter what
Hmm.
basically. I because a win is way better. Everybody feels better. The team, the organization, the fans, everybody feels better after a win rather than, oh, I guess we lost and we're better in the draft position now because yeah, I mean,
Yep.
it's good, but like also you want to win. And if you don't
Well,
want to win, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry.
if you don't want to win, go be a Bears fan or actually just be a Jacksonville's fan.
Yeah,
If you don't want to win, I mean, because
honestly.
I thought we took it to an art form. They're, oh my god, they
Yeah,
are
they're
so bad. Watch
yeah.
them beat us too now. After I
I
just
know,
said
huh?
that,
Honestly.
but how upset are we gonna be? Because if they beat us, we move in the number one slot, provided we don't win any other games.
Well, I think I'll be upset because I'll be there and then I'll have to drive
That's
home all
true.
upset.
What's up, Death Pile? How we doing? So what do we else? What else you got on
Yep.
Tampa Bay? I'm not even talking kickers about the Tampa Bay game. I am staying out of that conversation.
Well, honestly, I'll say it then because Daniel Carlson is gonna have a bounce back game. He's gonna win me my fantasy playoff game, and everything's gonna be good. I'm not gonna have to shell out 150 bucks on the first freaking week of the playoffs. So,
Yeah.
but let's go ahead and continue the Tampa Bay game discussion. And what is the keys to victory for the Raiders if they want to win this game? What do you think the Raiders need to do to defeat Tampa Bay this Sunday?
John, I'm going to answer that question in a few minutes after this. I definitely want to put my take on this show on this too. Um, the keys at Bauer's early. Get him involved right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I agree with Death Pile too. Establish that
Establish the
run,
run.
which
Mm-hmm.
we've got an semblance of a run now. So get McCormick involved early too. The sooner we can get McCormick going, and the sooner we get Bowers involved, you know, the sooner that the field will open up more and get the play action going. So we can we can do some more plays downfield. Because I mean
Yeah.
it showed last week that O'Connell can get the ball downfield. I mean that
Yeah,
was a
for sure.
beautiful throw last week.
Yeah.
That long touchdown throw he had, that was just right on the freaking money. And I know people are complaining about O'Connell not being able to, thread the needle. I mean, he threw a pass to, I think it was Tucker also, in between three different defenders. They had him set up in like a Bermuda triangle, and he
Yeah.
fired that thing right in there, and it was a completion. So don't tell me he can't get the ball in there, because I mean that was a perfect example of it.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
I,
Yeah.
I,
Go ahead. Sorry.
Bowers, 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 Bowers. That's it.
Yep. That's what exactly where I was going to pivot it to as well. I
Yeah,
think Brock Bowers has to be the X factor for this game on the Raiders side of the ball because he is obviously our best player, and I think he needs to show it again this week. I think
yeah,
he just received AFC Offensive Rookie of the Month. He's going to
yep.
need to continue to show that kind of dominance. And honestly, this might be the game. This game or the next one against Jacksonville. Or isn't Jacksonville next week or is it
Atlanta, we got a Monday night game
Atlanta?
after this
It'll be
one.
so it'll be this game or it would be um against Jacksonville where he's going to solidify offensive rookie of the year. Put that in the books right
I
now.
hope so.
I'm gonna take it to Vegas on when I go to the Jacksonville game. Offensive rookie of the year, slip, Brock Bowers. That's who I got. Obviously I'm a little biased, but still. I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. And then of course, it says right here, Sincere McCormick is going to. I think he needs to establish his run. Antonio Pierce has said that he doesn't want to throw the ball it's like since the beginning of the year, he said he doesn't want to throw the ball a million times a game. He wants to establish the run, work off play action, and Aiden O'Connell's the perfect kind of quarterback to go ahead and be able to do that. So
Yep.
the main one for me though is Brock Bowers. That's for certain.
Well,
But
just put that into perspective for a second. He was named Offensive Rookie of the Month,
mm-hmm.
and that's with a kind of crappy game against Denver with only 4 catches.
Yeah,
That just goes to show you how good he was in those other 3 games. He could have one,
right.
low to mediocre game and still pull that off with what some of these quarterbacks are doing. So I mean and that's a tight end. We're not talking about a wide receiver, and we're talking about a fucking tight end
Yeah,
that is offensive rookie of the month
yeah.
for November.
That's
That's
insane.
impressive. I don't care who you are or what type of player you like. I mean that's fucking impressive.
Yeah,
It really
extremely
is.
impressive.
And Death Pile, I would love to see McCormick get it because you know why? If he gets 110 yards, that means that we probably are going to win. We're winning that game.
That's for certain. If he gets
We get
110
over
yards, we're
100
winning.
yards, we're going to win that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And that's probably coming on like 15 carries based on how he runs.
Oh yeah, yeah. He runs
That
hard
that's
between the
not even running
tackles.
him 30 times for that 110. That's
Mm-mm.
like a 15 carry game for 110 and a tud.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know.
Yeah, I believe that is it. I know you wanted to answer a question though in your chat. If you want to go
Yeah,
ahead and
I
address
definitely
that.
want to go. I want to go back to the this where is it? It was from John. What about Sam Donald as a
Oh.
stopgap quarterback? In my honest opinion, we've already got the stopgap
Mm-hmm.
quarterback. We've already got our starter for next year. In my eyes, we've got O'Connell. So my whole take on this is, no matter what pick we end up with, we don't grab either one of those two that everybody's pushing for, whether it be um, Shador or Cam Ward. Because I honestly feel it comes this time next year, if we take either one of those two, I think we're gonna have buyer's remorse. And everybody's like, well, how Max Crosby's having buyer's remorse? Yeah, exactly. He pushed for AP, and now, you know, supposedly he's not too happy. Supposedly, I don't know the whole deal with that, but anyway, I think we will have buyer's remorse grabbing either one of these two. Um, so my feeling is, if we end up, say, we finish at number one, we get the number one pick. I say, my honest opinion is we take Hunter. All right, either we take Hunter, so that gives us our playmaker on offense for wide receiver, and with the ability to still play in the secondary. Whether we do not play him in the secondary, that's besides the point. But you're going to draft him as that wide receiver playmaker type player. If we end up with anything higher than number one, because Hunter's going to go number one. Jacksonville doesn't need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Um, they really don't need a running back. They could use a top wide receiver like him. So if Jacksonville finishes number one, I'm willing to bet they take Hunter. So if we have a pick that's not number one, we trade back in the first round for extra picks. And if we trade back into the top 10, stay in the top 10, so someone else can move up and get a player that they're choosing, then we can go look at a running back too.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think we need to draft a quarterback that early in the draft because it's only those two. The two players that they're talking about, like Shadur, if you look at his consistency and his stats, I don't think he's what everybody thinks he's gonna be. And along with him comes Dion too. Now I have nothing bad about Dion as far as I loved him as a player. I think
Mm-hmm.
he's a great college head coach. But the media is going to be in his face the whole time, especially if Shador's not having a good season, or if we push him and get him out there too soon and it's not a right fit.
Right.
Uh, it's just going to be we're going to be in the media for the wrong reasons. I just think we can still draft a quarterback. I'm not saying that we don't grab one. There's other quarterbacks in the draft that are worth taking that we can get in the second round,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or even in the third round. We've got so many holes to fill in this team and so many free agents that we're not going to be able to bring them all back. Some of them we definitely don't want back.
Right.
Um, there's so many holes to fill in this team, so putting all our stock in one player that may or may not start right away is crazy.
Mhm.
I just feel as though we can make that pick or put that pick towards something different instead of just going after one of these top two quarterbacks as they picked them,
Yeah.
being Shador and Ward. I just I'm not sold. I mean, I wasn't on the Shador train for a long time, and then I started watching him play and Ward too, and I was slowly grabbing that handrail for the train to get on for Shador, and I got on, but I'm off it again.
You're off
I
it
got on
again.
for like one stop, and I jumped back off, took my hobo stick, and I got out of there. I just I just I'm just not for it. Yeah, John,
Yeah.
see, I'm telling you, quarterback in the second round, we don't need a stopgap. We've already got it. O'Connell is it,
O'Connell's definitely
and
the best bridge quarterback
I'm
we
not
could have.
basing it on just last week's game. Like everybody's, oh, one game. No, I mean, just look at how he was last year as a rookie when he took over. In that whole debacle of a season last year, and then this disaster this year. This kid should have been starting from the beginning, and I think the whole reason Minshew started is because of the money we were paying him. For him to be
Yeah.
paid that kind of money to sit on the bench as the backup, I mean, I get why they started Minshew because I'm sure that came down from upstairs. I'm sure that wasn't an AP decision, you
Right.
know. But I still say O'Connell is it, especially if he balls out these last 5 games. That's
Yeah.
big. That
Yeah.
that just puts another feather in his cap to say, you know what, he's our guy going into next year right now. So we grab a quarterback in the second round and we sit him and let him get ready to play in 2026.
Mhm.
Look at some of these quarterbacks that sit, like Jordan Love. How long did he sit behind Aaron Rodgers? Like 3 seasons? Look at how long
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre. And look how good they were once they were given the starting job.
Yeah.
Love's playing
Patrick Mahomes
out of his
sat.
mind the last 2 seasons. Yeah, Mahomes sat. I mean, there's no need to rush these guys in.
Mhm.
And that's it, John. That's why I say, if you're not going to get those one of those two, that's not your desire to get one of those two. You trade those picks away and you get draft equity up the ass because that's
Yeah.
what this team needs. We need more bodies on the in the we need more bodies basically that can fill these holes, and you just build it through the draft, whether it takes 2 years or not.
Mhm.
You know, that's my take on it. I know it's not
Yeah.
popular. We found
uh
that out last night.
yeah. Yeah, exactly, right? Everybody had some definitely something to chirp about
Yeah.
that take for sure. But my thing is on the whole ordeal is I I was not a Shador fan either, to be honest. I was not. I felt like he had too many problems, off the field issues and character problems, and I, like you said, there's gonna be a lot of stuff surrounding the Raiders if he does come to Las Vegas, and the whole stigma of Las Vegas already. Like it's gonna be a lot.
Hmm.
It's gonna be tough to handle as an organization, and it's already been tough to handle as soon as we got to Las Vegas. Like so
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know if we need all of that media and spotlight. And obviously, the old saying is no, every press is good press or there's no bad press. But for the Raiders, it always seems like it's bad press. So,
It's
yeah,
never good.
yeah, exactly. But as far as Shador or Cam, I definitely have warmed up to the idea of Shador Sanders. Like completely just blocking out the everything that comes with it, and with the possibility of now I'm seeing Deion
Subject.
Sanders is possibly coming to the Raiders as a head coach, offensive coordinator,
No
blah blah blah.
fucking way.
Like
No fucking
it's
way.
already started and they're not even
I
here
know.
yet. He's not even
I
here
know
yet,
that.
so it's like that's exactly what we're talking about.
I mean, do
But
I think he could be an NFL coach? Yeah, but not here. No, no. It's going to be a media circus.
oh
God,
yeah.
that hurts my brain just thinking about it. It
But
really does.
as strictly as players, I think Shador is going to be or has the tools to be more successful in the NFL than Cam Ward does. But with the right environment, coaching, and development, Cam Ward has that potential to be that Josh Allen type of player, honestly. But the Raiders do not have a great, history of developing. quarterbacks and developing players in general, to be honest, because we always see, you know, players come in and then they go to another team and they're really good. So
Yeah.
it's hard to bank on the development. I know it's like obviously you can't like base it on old coaches, and obviously there's a whole brand new coaching staff and stuff like that, but just the history repeats itself. So that's kind of my take on that. But what I think is going to happen, and I might honestly put money on this one, Tom Brady is not letting Shador Sanders go anywhere besides Las Vegas. There's no way. He trains with him in the off seasons. He is a very close friend. Max Crosby is a very close friend of Shador Sanders. Um, they might have the same representation. There's just too many connections that Shador Sanders has in the Raiders front office personnel, uh, and so I don't think he's going to go anywhere unless we, like you said, we get the number one pick. I think
Hmm.
you have to get Travis Hunter at that point. That's the only way that I think we do not get Shador Sanders. That's the only
I mean,
way.
the kid's talented, man. I mean, he's going to win the Heisman. I can't see anybody else beating him out for the Heisman. And I'm not saying grab him because he's a Heisman Trophy
Yeah.
winner, and we have the history of drafting Heisman Trophy winners and shit.
Yep.
The kid is just that much of a difference as a playmaker, and that's what we need on offense. We've got one already with Bowers right now, but you throw him into the mix as a receiver, and man, talk about a different offense comes next year.
Yeah.
This allows us to, you know, sink some money in the free agency for some veteran offensive linemen that can come in and help make a difference with this team. That's where we need to build starting from with free agency is offensive line, and then next up after that, as far as I'm concerned, free agency, see what's out there for defensive ends. I know I looked at the list the other day. I forget who was the top guy for, but another defensive end, you need somebody that's bona fide on the other side. We don't know what Kuntz is going to be like when he comes back from this injury. Is he
Right.
going to be the Kuntz of last year, having a good year and everything? Because this defense shined at the end of last year,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
it's a completely different situation this year. Defense took a while to get going this year.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
so
for
I
sure.
got a question though, Death. When you say you were on the train, what train? What were you on? Were you on the keeping AOC or Shador? Just trying to figure out which where he was in that.
Oh, what's up, Jay? I didn't even see that he's in here.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see what he
The
says. Oh, this.
Sanders
Oh, so you
train.
want Sanders? Okay. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion and their thought. I mean, I get it. There's some people that are, well, you know what? There's some people that are, so for him, and then there's many that are out there that are so for Ward, and then there's boobs like myself that just want to stick with AOC and go different route.
Yeah.
There's a lot fewer of the ones that think like I do, but if I'm right, I'm not going to sit there and say I told you so. I'm not going to rub it in people's faces.
Uh-huh.
You know, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I we'll never know until this season's over. There's no telling what's going to happen until we know exactly what draft pick we have, what we're doing for the coaching situation, whether it be head coach, OC, DC, whatever. We don't know what we're doing. We can speculate and wish and want all we want.
Right.
I should rub it in. Yeah, after the beating I took last night, yeah, I should say. Um, there's no telling what's going to happen until the end of the season where we finish it with the draft pick and what the plan is going forward. That's the big factor in all this. So we can coulda, shoulda, woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda all we want right now. That's what they said about Jaden Daniels last year, that we had too many connections to him.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah, there was
difference
no
with
chance.
that,
We weren't gonna get Daniels. We had
exactly, we
no
were too far
shot.
behind in the
Yep.
draft position. I mean, obviously everyone was like, sell the entire house, your whole draft, do a Mike
We
Ditka, Ricky
tried.
Williams, but I at that point I don't even know if it's worth it, to be honest.
I mean, we tried to move up. Nobody was listening. You
Yep.
know. So I mean, you automatically knew that we weren't going to get either one of those two. We
Yeah.
weren't going to get either one of those top two quarterbacks. It just was not going to happen. Our best shot to get anybody would have been possibly Bo Nix.
Penix.
You know, but Denver takes them right before us. And then after that, I was like, all right, well, the next best that I like based on what I've seen him play was Penix.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell would
At
have thought Atlanta would have taken him?
Nobody
And
thought Atlanta
it was
was
like
gonna
a
take him.
pick or two before us too. I'm like, all right, he's still there. We got the second round pick. We're gonna get him in the second round. And then all of a sudden he gets picked. I'm like, are you shitting me? I almost threw something at the TV that day. I'm like, what the fuck? But you know what? Look what we got instead. You know, JPJ. We got a center that's going to be there for years. You
Yeah,
know, so I mean, the kid's good. I mean, we had a good draft. The first three picks. I mean, they all three of
great
them in my eyes were home runs. I mean, Glaze is
starters.
been yeah. I mean, Glaze has been great. JPJ is just. I think the kid's a fucking rated true and true. You
Yeah,
know, I
he's
love the
great.
kid. You know, he's a man after my own heart. He's a big fatty center. And that's what I love. You know,
And yeah, you know what? I agree with you, Death here. I wouldn't try to move up to get Sanders if we win a couple of games here either. I think Tom Telesco has proven and shown that if we do stay in the spot, that he's going to pick the best player available, and that is how you build in the draft. It doesn't. It's not by need. It's by picking the best possible player
hmm
at that time. And look at what it got us. It got us Brock Bowers. It got us JPJ, Glaze. So, that the way that he builds in a draft is, I think, is going to be super beneficial for the Raiders, and I'm really excited to see what he does in this upcoming draft. To be
oh yeah.
honest,
Well, and look at it this way: if this was the Raiders of old, like meaning like let's go back prior to Telesco as the GM,
yeah,
if this would have been a couple of the different GMs in the two prior regimes,
yeah,
guess what? Came that 13th pick, we probably would have reached for a quarterback at that point. We
yeah,
would have taken Penix at 13, and then everybody would have been screaming, crying because you know damn well we could have probably got him in the second round.
mm-hmm.
Or there was a chance to get him in the second round. Nobody saw Atlanta doing that. So, that's the type of move we would have made in the past. Whereas you had a GM that was thinking smart and saying, listen, this kid's a great talent out of Georgia. Anybody that watched him play in Georgia knew exactly what we were getting.
Oh yeah,
So a lot of people were complaining. We took another tight end. We took one last year too. Just watch the kid play. Just watch him. And you'll know what you're getting. And he's lived up to everything I thought he would was going to be, and even tenfold more than I didn't think he was going to be leading the league in catches right now.
right,
I don't think
yeah,
anybody saw that coming.
no,
Absolutely not.
definitely not.
And he was shot out of the cannon right from the first and second game of the season. Bang! It's like holy shit, this kid's amazing.
Yeah,
You know.
honestly,
So I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy with what we got. We've got some of the building blocks right now. You know, definitely, yeah. Miller's playing better, but you know what? We're going to lose him at the end of next year because he's a free agent after the 2025 season. So we're going to get nothing for him. I'm
mm-hmm.
fine. In all honesty, I'm fine with trading him away at the draft to get more picks for him. Get something for him now before we let him go for free because
Yeah.
we ain't going to get any type of compensation for him or nothing. Well, I think we might. I'm not sure,
This is a
but
good tackle draft as well, and I think,
yeah,
if we want to start to pivot that way to, maybe he's getting a little expensive, a little older, he's getting more injured. Let's start looking that way. Definitely in this draft for sure.
yeah. I mean, there's so many different directions we can go. When you've got
Yeah.
such a high draft pick or early draft pick, there's so many different ways you can go with this.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
know, it's only going to benefit you, and it allows you to be flexible in the draft too. Because the more picks you can accumulate, the more you can move around that draft board, and moving up and down the draft is key, especially with this team
Yeah.
because there's so many holes to fill. I mean, you just looking through the history of some of the positions or some of the players that were taken and where they were taken in the draft and how well Terrell Davis, perfect example, drafted in the sixth round, Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tom Brady drafted in the sixth round. Oh, look how that ended up.
Yeah.
He's going to the Hall of Fame. You look at some of these guys that were picked so late in the draft and have been so damn good. Look at Brock Purdy, last pick in the draft. Now he's having an off year this year, but don't forget, no McCaffrey all season hurts too.
Yeah.
He's having a run with a rookie back, two rookies actually. No, I'm sorry, one rookie, and then one 3-year player that's been sitting behind CMC for the last last 2 years.
Uh huh.
So it's like, Brock Purdy, last pick in the draft, and the kids playing damn good. I'd take him on our team. I would if we had the last pick in that draft and somebody grabbed him, based on how he's turned out. That would have been a great pick.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely. Honestly.
everybody's always shooting for that top tier guy all the time. So a lot of times those don't work out. You know, I think
Yeah.
Hunter is a little bit different of a story. I mean,
I that's the
the
closest thing
kid,
to
the
a for
kid.
sure thing I in this draft at least. Um, but the big question is, where does he play? I know I've heard him saying he loves to play defense, but I've heard also that obviously, or not heard, but we obviously know that receivers make way more money than defensive backs do. So does he even give the defense offense type of try? I guess that depends on the organization and where he goes. I would say give him a shot. Like if he's not successful in one of the positions, move him to the other side full time. I mean, he's shown he can do it. He's shown he's that Iron Man athlete in college. And I know a bunch of players have done it before. Obviously, Charles Woodson has done it. Miles Jack is another one that comes to mind. Um, there's one that just left my brain, but it's done. It's happened before, but not to that type of snaps on both sides of the ball. So
Yeah,
to me, if we do get him, I would say give him a chance at both sides of the ball. Let him see what happens. To be honest.
I say you sign him as a wide receiver, but you know in your mind you've also got this pure talent at defensive back too.
Yeah.
So he plays primarily wide receiver, and then say games where you're going up against like Minnesota, and you've got Jefferson out there. Guess what? He's playing defense that game for a
Yeah.
good chunk of the time, and you put him on him.
And then we
You put
have
him on one of those when you play against a team that's got one of those super like a Jamar Chase or a Jefferson or Puka Nakua. These guys that can just burn you bad.
yeah.
You put him on those guys for quite a few plays that game. You know, See what type of impact he has. But you sign him primarily, or you draft him primarily as a wide receiver because that's what you want him to excel at. But you've still got him to have that ability where he can play in the secondary.
Yeah.
Like
Definitely.
Woodson, like you said, Woodson was drafted as a cornerback, played offense every now and then when we needed him
Mm-hmm.
to. Dion did the same damn thing.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, it's that same situation, but the kid would be primarily our wide receiver. We need him on offense more than defense.
Yeah.
You
Honestly,
know,
we do at that point.
because I'll tell you right now, you beef up that front defensive line at end and in tackles and such.
Uh huh.
You're not going to need superstar uh, secondary guys. You're just going to need serviceable guys because your defensive front is so strong and so good. Quarterback's not getting time to throw the ball, 40, 50 yards down the field
Right.
because he's got the defensive line guys in his face.
Mm-hmm.
So the plays are going to break down faster. So now the receivers are going to be scrambling. So I mean, you don't have to have a superstar secondary out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you can have one, then that's awesome because then now you've got a super well-rounded team on defense.
Right, exactly. That's what I was gonna say as well. That if the addition of Hunter makes that cornerback room and that secondary room that much better, because we already know Jacorian Bennett is gonna be a good piece to continue to build off of. Nate Hobbs is one of the most underrated quarterbacks. Jack Jones, if we can get him to where he was last year, I mean, the sky's the limit on that guy as well. So that cornerback room will be just absolutely insane, to be honest. So
Yeah,
but yeah,
I'm
I
not.
believe
It's
yeah,
gonna be
that's about it.
interesting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's a very good time to start. If you haven't already, to start getting into Raider football. Obviously, we're not the best right now, but from here on, like we're gonna have a lot to talk about. We started this podcast and the other podcast very at a very good time.
Hmm.
Building communities very at a very good time. So I think only from here it's gonna get a lot more interesting, especially going into the off season this year.
I'm excited. I
Very.
can't wait. I mean, and we haven't even touched, not even touched the whole coaches situation. I mean, that's another half hour, 45-minute conversation right there,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I mean, that's something that you and I haven't even done on this show is talk about that.
If I could say one thing about a coach who was just let go today, who I said on a previous show that I wanted as our OC,
Who
Eric
got let
Bien.
go today? Did I miss that?
No, not in the NFL, not in the NFL.
Oh, why?
Eric
Who got let
Bieniemy,
go?
Eric Bieniemy got let go as the offensive coordinator from UCLA, and he was a guy that I wanted last season when we were looking for an offensive coordinator, and he was still out there. He helped out his friend at UCLA, helped him along there as a first time head coach. Let's get some more experience. He was very successful in Kansas City, moderately successful in Washington. So I mean, if we can continue bringing that quarterback, have a guy who has molded a guy like Patrick Mahomes, knows what it's like to be successful in the NFL at the offensive coordinator position, which we are in need of, I
Mhm.
don't see why not. I mean, I know another one of my other content creator friends, Millennial Raider, was laughing at me because he was like, Eric Bieniemy is like he had Andy Reid as a head coach, Patrick Mahomes at the quarterback, and he was like he was kind of just a product of that. But you have to understand, like when you have those pieces with Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelsey, you have to scheme them open as well. Like they're not just gonna do backyard
Yeah.
football, and they have to be able to be put in the best positions possible, and I believe he did that with a lot of talent in Kansas City predominantly.
I it I I mean, if you wanna get into it, we can talk coaches right now. I don't know if you got time.
I just wanted to say because I know he got let go today. So I mean, if you want to, we could. I mean, I don't know how much time everybody got on here, but I mean, I'm down.
Hey, whoever's in the chat, you want us to start talking about coach possibilities? I mean, we can extend this a little bit more. I
Yeah,
mean, if you guys are all bored and wanna stick around and watch and interact, I mean, shit, I'll fucking go, I don't care.
I
It's
know, right?
11:30 here, but I'm a night owl. Ah, Death Pile beat me to it already.
Now we gotta end it now. Thanks for the spoilers. Spoilers. But yeah, go ahead and
You
touch.
wanna go first, or you want me
Go
to go
ahead,
first,
because
Andrew?
I think
Alright.
I have the same kind of thought here.
Alright, we'll do it. Fuck it. Um, yeah, Vrabel. If AP stays, I'm okay with it, but am I? Um, I in a perfect world, I would love for Vrabel to come in, and I know people that especially live around me because I'm in New England. You'll be like, "Oh, it's just another Patriot coming in to run the team." Blah blah blah. No, no, it's not bringing the Patriot way here. You know why? Because he went on to coach a different team and had success in Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
developed his way of doing things, and he was successful.
Yep.
Did I think he deserved to get fired from Tennessee? Hell no.
No.
He should still be there, but he's available now.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be fine with Vrabel coming here as our head coach, clean house out of. If there was one coach that should stay on our roster or on our coaches room, would probably be Philbin,
Mm.
because just how much he's done with such a lackluster offensive line and
And in such
backups
little
and
time as
injuries
well.
in such little time. Everybody else, bye bye, see you later. And hopefully Dayball gets fired by the Giants, and he's available. You bring him in as your OC,
Mm-hmm.
and then you also bring in possibly Robert Sala as your DC, or you could still keep Graham. If you want to keep Graham, I wouldn't be
Yeah, I
opposed to
would
that
not be
either.
opposed to that as well. I think you're trying to assemble the Avenger coaching staff, though. I don't
Yeah,
know how
no,
much money the Raiders are willing to put into that kind of coaching staff, but yeah.
I haven't heard it. I haven't heard it upstairs yet because the line just beat the Packers
Oh, really?
34-31. I'm waiting for my daughter to start screaming because everybody
No.
that's here, she's a Packers fan. So, and the reason I say Dayball, because a lot of people are like, why Dayball? All right. The reason I say Dayball is he was a coach in Buffalo offensive coordinator, and look what he did with Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, turned Josh Allen around and turned him into what he is now. Okay, and the other reason I like Dayball, he was a coach in New England as a tight ends coach. Look who he had for tight ends then. He had Gronk, he had Hernandez, and look what he did with those two during that time frame. Those two guys were amazing. All right. Now look at our team. Look at what we have. We
Mm.
have Brock Bowers. We have Mayer. Now, granted, Mayer is not on the same level as Gronk or Hernandez. I'm not saying that, but Brock Bowers is. For goddamn sure he is.
Yeah.
He could turn Brock into a new Gronk. Even Gronk's even said it himself.
Yeah. He
I
said he
saw
was
an
gonna be
interview with
better than
him.
him.
Yeah, he could turn Bowers into the next Gronk and even beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
He could hopefully get Mayer. I'm sorry, Meyer. I keep saying Mayer because of Jacoby. I don't know why.
It is Mayor.
He could turn, huh?
It is Mayor Jacoby Myers and then
Myers and Mayer.
Mayor.
Yeah,
Yeah. There you go. It is confusing. It is
it's my
confusing.
dyslexia, I guess. Um, you could turn him into another top tight end too. So now you look at the combination when those two were playing with Brady throwing the ball. No, I'm not saying O'Connell's Brady. That's not what I'm getting at.
I don't
But
know.
you
His
look
number
and
is
see,
12.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And his owner is Brady.
His owner is
Um,
Brady.
you look at what he turned those two into in tight ends. I just see I can see the future and how good it could possibly be. That's why I am so for Vrabel. And if Vrabel can, and he's got history of being there when Daboll was in New England too, so they know each other.
Yeah.
So it's not like they don't know each other, and they
Exactly.
haven't coached together or been together a lot. So you know that there's going to be some sort of chemistry there. I feel as though that would be like the dream situation would be Vrabel and Daboll, you know, being our OC with this team, with the talent we have, especially at tight end. I mean, what he could do with those guys and the play scheme he could come up with in some of these two tight end sets that we could do with these two guys. Oh, good God.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Yeah.
God. And then you go and grab Hunter
Oof.
as your wide receiver. Am I saying McCormick is also going to be our running back? Who knows?
We're
He
definitely gonna
could.
need to draft another running back. I love
And we
him
can,
as
and we
like
can get one in
another
the
one.
second round. We can get one further on in the draft that's still going to be, a good starting running back for
Yeah,
us.
it's
You
really
know,
deep in the running back department in this draft as well. Like you can
and
get
there's a lot of free agents out there too, but I
yeah,
wouldn't sink a
exactly.
shit ton of money. Like a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Nick Chubb, Nick Chubb." Nick Chubb's
No,
injury issues. That's what
yeah,
scares me with
that's
him.
yeah. I don't know
I'm
about that
not
one.
crazy about
You can
that,
get
and
the
I don't want to
best
see.
back in the nation from the past season in Ollie Gordon in the second round. Like he led the
Yeah,
nation in rushing yards last year. Like obviously he hasn't been very great this year, but he is a great back that I believe the Raiders should target in the second round or even more than that.
yeah, Death. He's right. Death Pile's right too. It is deep run in running backs this
Yeah,
draft. So shit, we could draft a couple.
yeah,
Don't forget we've
exactly.
got a shit ton of money in free agency too. So you could bring in a veteran running back to help these younger kids because that's what we don't have. We don't have a veteran running back. I don't consider Abdul a veteran running back that can help teach these guys.
Madison,
Um,
he's been.
he's never been like a true like every down type running back. You could bring in a Najee Harris. You know,
I
I
like Najee.
he's not going to be cheap.
No,
He's not going to be cheap, but he's going to do what you want him to do.
yeah.
Where's my list? I have a list of free agent running backs too. Let me see. Let's just for the shits and giggles look at what's out here. So, and I'm going to look at the ages too. So
Mhm.
Najee Harris, 26 years old. Right now, his salary is 3.2 million. I would think we can handle that. Aaron Jones, 30 years old from Minnesota, 7 mil.
He was injured this year.
Yep. Nick Chubb, 28. He's 2.2, but he just came back.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott, hell no. Bye bye.
No. No.
Um, after that, it kind of thins out. You got AJ Dillon.
Mm,
He hasn't played at all. He's been injured too, right?
yeah.
And then, yeah. So, really, I would take Najee Harris. You could throw enough money at him,
Yeah.
you know.
I like Najee a lot.
Well, there's really everything else after that's kind of eh. Cam Akers, no thank you.
Yeah, no thanks on that one either.
Yeah, I mean, you just again, I mean, we're gonna pretty much outbid anybody. If somebody's in the running for Najee Harris, 26 years old, come on. You know, why wouldn't we want somebody like that? I mean,
Yeah,
the kid's a proven commodity and, a proven running back, you know? But I'm saying even if we see what McCormick can do, you bring in a veteran running back with McCormick to help teach this kid, help him learn more behind him, and then you pick up one of the top rookies, you know, I think you just
agreed.
change this team so much. And then you draft a quarterback in this draft, not in the first round named Ward or Sanders. Couple that with if we have a shot to
Dart,
move up to number one or finish at number one and get Hunter,
Hunter.
I
Yeah.
mean, I would be fine with Dart. You know, like a lot of people are saying Milrow too. I wouldn't take
Mm,
Milrow with a first round pick.
not the
Absolutely
first
not. That's a
round.
reach.
Not the first round. Milrow
No,
in the second.
that's a reach.
You can convince me. I think. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this
You know,
this like we've been saying, it's very exciting to be. I
and
mean,
don't forget we got two third round picks because we get the one for
the
DA. We're not going to get the
right.
second round because he ain't
No, no,
making the
he's no,
He ain't making the All Pro, and they ain't going to the championship game, so
no.
that's out. So we're not moving up to the second round with that pick. Would have been nice, but we're gonna get a third round for
The
him.
nice thing about that was the salary dump. Honestly, if we had to retain a whole bunch of his salary, we're in a completely different position. We are lucky that we got the third, as well as no more salary on that contract. To be honest,
Hmm.
like that was the best part about it, for sure.
I would even be willing to give up a first round in the 2026 draft
Mm.
to move back into the first round again.
To be
To be honest
honest,
with you, this
yeah,
year,
like if we do, like I think we've definitely have said it before, do the Texans draft where they went up and got CJ Stroud, they went up and got oh my god, what's his name, Will Anderson
yeah,
Jr. And
yeah,
if we do that with Travis and Shadur, or
ugh,
Travis and
no,
ex quarterback, name him whatever your favorite quarterback at the time at the position, you cannot be mad at it. Honestly, I don't see how anybody can be mad at that, because that shows that the Raiders are aggressive, and it shows that they're willing to bet on themselves. Really, like they're able to bet on whoever their favorite quarterback is, or whoever it is, and that will completely change the entire roster. Honestly, at this
yeah.
at this point,
I mean, again, if you look at it, because 2026 draft quarterback options for that year, I mean, Arch Manning's the one everybody's already talking about for
right?
2026. So if we draft our quarterback in the second round in this year's draft, and we hold AOC as our starter going into next year, and then see where we are, we wouldn't have to worry about drafting, uh, you know, say finishing high enough in the first round because I don't see us finishing with a top five draft pick after next season. I
No,
think
I
we're going
don't
to
think so
improve
either.
enough to win more games and not finish with such a high draft pick.
Yeah.
Um, I I definitely feel for the Hunter thing to draft him, and then if we can give up our 2026 first round pick and move back into the first round, and you draft whatever position other than quarterback in that first round. I get the Shador and Hunter because of their chemistry together already
That
playing in
would
college
be
all this time.
insane.
I get that, but I still don't want it. I still wouldn't want Shador because of not because of that reason. I just don't want him. I'm not comfortable saying yes. Let's put our money on this kid and our future
Yeah,
and our
I
team on
get
this
that.
kid.
I think the whole um like the baggage that comes with Shador, if he comes in with Travis, I think that gets tamed down like slightly. Um
Hmm.
because I think just their connection, their friendship, like, coming obviously from college, and so on and so forth. Travis Hunter is a way more level headed than Shador Sanders is. So I
Oh
think
God, yeah.
like way
I mean, the
more.
kid doesn't drink, he doesn't party, he doesn't go anywhere. He just eats, drinks, and sleeps football.
Yeah, exactly. So I
That's what
think
makes me so happy with this kid. If we could get him, is I'm all for it.
exactly, and I think that if they stick together, should not Shador, but Travis will help Shador along the way become a little bit more professional. To be honest.
Hmm. I agree, Death Pile, and that is impressive to me. Also, he comes in and 2 games into this new offensive, coaches. I mean, that was that right there is already telling me that this kid can adapt. You know, just had one of the best divas on our team. Shador is a saint compared to the previous players.
I think
Yeah.
he's right in between. Shador is right in between Antonio Brown, which is like the furthest diva, and then uh Da, which was, I mean, he was way more diva-ish than uh when he first came here. Shador's like right in the middle somewhere right there. He's a little bit more than Devonte Adams.
No, Jay, I'm not letting it happen. I don't want it. I don't. I don't. Don't let it happen and make me come on here next year and say, I fucking told you so, that it was a bad fucking move. Because I can already see the writing on the wall.
Yeah,
But
I get
it
you.
just, I could see us, if we did that, man, if we could get Hunter first, if we finish with number one pick, we take Hunter. And then after that pick, we mull around a little bit and all of a sudden, oh, trade coming in. Oh, the Raiders are back in the first round. Oh, and with that pick, they're taking whatever the Genty, the running back from Boise, Idaho. From
Ooh.
Boise State. Oh my God, are you kidding me? And
Ashton
then the rest
Genty
of
would
the
be
draft,
crazy.
you go offensive lineman, offensive lineman, offensive lineman.
They're
Because think
gonna
about it, you get
catch passes
McCormick,
for us too. They
you
throw
get
the ball.
McCormick. Listen, you get Hunter is your number one wide receiver now coming out. You know he's going to start right away. He's just got such talent that
Yeah.
he'll beat out anybody. Then you got Jacoby opposite him. Then you got McCormick in our backfield as a holdover from this year. You got a free agent, and let's say Najee Harris because you can afford him, and then you grab Genty. So look what you've already got right there, and then you build up your offense. Bring in a free agent uh, offensive lineman, whether it be guard or tackle, left side,
Hmm.
and then you go from there. You've already got your tight ends. You're sold there. You've already got your quarterback because you keep an AOC. Just think about how this team could build, and then you also address your defense in free agency and in the rest of the draft, and
Hmm.
it's got to pan out. I'm telling you, it would take my thought process of when I said that we got set back 5 years when we gave the coaching reins over to McDumdum. I
Uh huh.
said from when he was hired, he set us back 5 years from that moment. He said, "I'll take the job." We're already 2.5 years past the time he got hired, and look where we are. That the team was a playoff capable team before he took over.
Hmm.
He dismantled it, brought in these idiots that he brought in, except for Jacoby, and look what happened. Did Carr dirty, got rid of him in the manner that he did. Brings in Garoppolo. You think that's an upgrade from Derek Carr?
Yeah.
All right. So then a year and a half into his coaching on this team, he gets fired. So now we're a year and a half in. AOC takes over, turns the team around for the second half of the season. So now here we are now a year later after after AP got hired as, or brought in as the interim. So now we're at 2.5 years right now of this time frame since McDumdum got hired. We're
Yeah.
still 2.5 years away. So right now we're on pace to come true with what I said that he set us back 5 years.
Yeah.
So if we build like I just suggested, we just cut that timeline down a little bit
At least a year.
because we could already have an impact comes next year and win some more games versus what we've done this year.
Yeah.
And then comes 2026 season, now we're talking a whole different story here now. Yeah, we wouldn't have a first round pick because we gave it up this current draft to get 2 first round players. And if everything works the way that you kind of want it to work, dude, by that time, by the 2026 season, we could have something special brewing here. Look at the talent that we brought in and look at what it's cost us.
Yeah.
Not much. Not much. I'm telling you. I'll
I
I'll 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 make it all make sense, trust me.
I I'm on the train, dude. You don't have to. You don't have to. Convince me.
So
I
if I
think.
converted you now,
I don't know about the whole. I'm still on the fence on the quarterback position specifically,
Yeah.
but the the pick of Travis and then Genti and then developing, and that sounds great to me. If that happens, if we get first, like I said, you have to pick Travis Hunter, and then like you said, giving up our our first round pick next season's draft,
Hmm.
I would be completely fine if we go get Genti at that point. Honestly, completely fine with it.
Telling you, it's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, I think it's yeah,
It's
uh,
got
great
potential.
time.
I mean, come on. It's got potential if you think about it.
It's got very good
I'm
potential.
not just some crazy old gray-haired dude from fucking New England. I mean, I got some weird thoughts, but
I got some
I,
weird
I think
thoughts.
I think not in that way. Um, I mean, I can make it make sense. The more I'm gonna keep going this narrative.
Uh
I'm gonna convert some of you freaks over. I'll get some of yous on my side. You'll see. I already know I got a couple. I know I know Raider Ben last night was on there. And him and I were agreeing 100%. And we were getting whooped.
mm,
He was in the chat and I was on the panel talking, and I hit him up today, and he's like, dude, he goes, we were on the same page last night. I said, yeah. He goes, we were getting hammered. I said, yeah, we were. And MC Raider was fucking laying into me
oh
yesterday. He's like,
yeah.
you're fucking crazy. What are you smoking? I'm like, damn, dude. I'm like, I'll take it. I can take the beating. I got my
Uh
paper bag. I'll wear my paper bag comes next year if I have to. I don't
there you
care. If I gotta
go.
make another one, I'll make another one. You
I don't know.
know? But,
You're not gonna wear it in against New England next year, though. I'll tell you that.
oh hell no. I hope we come here to play the Patriots
That'd
next
be
year, and I hope
so
you I
dope.
hope you guys all come out here because that is gonna be just fucking epic.
Yeah, as soon
That would
as that gets announced on where they're playing, because obviously they're gonna play because New England is gonna be the bottom of the AFC East,
yeah.
so they're for sure gonna be playing each other. But if it's in New England, I'm definitely going for sure going.
Well, if it is like I said to Leo too, I think I said it on last night's show. You guys, especially coming from West Coast, you guys better pray to the football gods that that game is not in December.
Oh,
Because if it is in December, you guys are going to be fucking freezing.
I'm
I mean,
ready
it's
for it.
20 something. It's 20 something degrees out there right now. The wind's blowing like a motherfucker. It's like feels like negative. We had snow last night, so everything's frozen out there. If you step where there was water, it ain't water anymore. It's fucking ice. You're going on your ass. You
Yeah,
guys are gonna be freezing your balls off. You
yeah.
better be buying some warm weather gear before
So
you come out.
last year, the Dolphins and the Chiefs playoff game, I was
Yeah,
in Kansas City, which was, I guess, the coldest playoff game almost ever. I
yeah,
we
dude, that
were
was nasty.
Tickets for that game were like $10. We were so close to going to the game, but us stupid Californians didn't. We're not going to be able to hang in that game. We were not going to, because we were watching the game obviously from our hotel room, and
Yeah,
you just see people out there like freezing their ass off. There's like nobody in the stands because everybody's trying to get warm in the concourse. Like, yeah, I was like, I would have stayed. I would have brought I had my my starter, Raider jacket. I would have been warm. I would have been toasty. I mean, obviously the Chiefs won, but still.
yeah. See, Death Pile, man, he knows what it's like to be in cold weather. The fucker's in Chicago.
Oh, there you go.
He
There you
gets that
go.
lake effect shit up there.
Yeah, that the wind is crazy up there.
That's like Buffalo. My God.
Yeah.
That game the other day was awesome. Now I love watching the snow games. Snow games are so
Yeah,
much fun.
they're so sick.
That was
Yeah.
the only downside to playing semi-pro ball when I played because when we played in the summer. Like we played in July, August, and September. So
Mhm.
the only bad weather we had was fucking rain.
Yeah.
Last time I played in the snow was in high school. So
Mhm.
you know, but yeah, cold at night because you're in the fucking desert. That makes sense. I get that part.
It's cold here in LA too. I mean, you see me all bundled up
What? All right.
already.
Okay? What's your definition of cold?
Like
What temperature?
60 is cold,
Are
bruh.
you shitting me?
It's 56
Are
right
you
now. It's cold. I'm cold right now.
60 degrees is cold. Oh
It's
my god.
cold, bruh.
Dude,
especially
60
at
degrees.
nighttime. It's cold.
60 degrees for me is like a freaking heat wave. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I wear shorts all year round. I've run my snowblower in shorts in the winter while it's snowing out, so it doesn't bother me.
Uh huh.
I'm like a big goddamn polar bear. I wear shorts all year round. I don't wear pants. The last time I wore pants was the last time I worked a shift at the firehouse, and that was 6 years ago. So, and that was only because I had to wear a uniform
Yeah.
because we weren't allowed to wear shorts, which sucked. But
All
those are
right.
cold.
Yeah.
That's cold. When you're out in the elements fighting a fire all night, freezing your balls off. Yeah, that's cold.
Yeah.
But
I can only imagine.
I'd rather do that than sweat my nuts off in the middle of summer, though. But so this was a good night. It was a good show. It's the longest one we've done,
Yeah,
you and I.
definitely. 140.
Well, a lot of interaction. We appreciate everybody in the
Oh
chat,
yeah,
man. I mean,
definitely. Go ahead and give us a follow. You know, we do this every Thursday. We're gonna try to do it every Thursday. Obviously, last week was Thanksgiving, so we didn't do it then. But we're gonna go ahead and do this every Thursday from here on out. And then also we have
yeah.
another podcast on Wednesdays, the Raider Connection. Go ahead and give us a follow on there. That's me, Jeff, Cheetah Linus, and Jay, who's right here in the chat. Go ahead and give us a follow. We'll try to maybe Jeff, you can put the link in because I'm like everywhere right now. Um,
For
for uh, the
well,
Raider
actually, because
connection.
for the Raider connection, actually, if you just go to
There you go.
on Wednesday nights, if you just come to any one of our four channels,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be able to watch it because we passed it to all four of our
That's
channels.
right.
So it's
Yep.
any underscore Raider boosters. It's LV Raider 10.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Just Raiders baby is Jay's, and then Cheetah Linus is what is his under? His is Cheetah, right?
On
Cheetah?
on
Is it?
his YouTube, I believe it's just
Yeah,
Cheeto Linus. Yeah.
I don't have it here. I don't.
Let me
Yeah,
see, and just look it up real quick because don't want to get it wrong for him. You know, definitely. Um, let me see. It is yeah, Cheeto
and that link I
Linus.
just posted. All right, yeah. If that link I just posted there, if you go to that, it's a Linktree account. If you click on that, it brings you up every social media platform that the Booster Club is on. So that comes the YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, um, you Facebook. We have a private Facebook group for the New England Raider Booster Club. I'm the president of the club, so if you want to join it, I'm the one that allows or accepts or denies anybody in. Basically, we keep it private because we don't want idiots that are fucking Chiefs fans or Pats fans
Trying
jumping in there.
to troll you
So as
guys.
long as you show some sort of an image in your profile that you got Raider stuff, it's an automatic accept. So we're only biased towards non-Raider fans. The rest can all pound tar for all I care. Uh, and we got a X account too. So we're on all that. Um, so hit us up if you got any questions, comments, whatever. Leave any
Mm-hmm.
any comments down below.
Yep.
If you guys got any suggestions for topics that you want to see
Oh,
LV10,
definitely.
LV10 and myself talk about, we're open to talk about anything. Um, I just like to talk.
Yeah.
I'm old, don't work anymore. I'm always home. I'm fine with getting on and chit chatting. I love it. I'm loving every aspect of doing what we're doing here. I mean,
Oh
this
yeah.
is this is fun,
Yeah.
you know.
Super.
You know, be,
Extremely.
between what you and I are doing here on this show and the Wednesday show, and then I usually get on Friday night with Rundown
Thank
and
you, Death Pile. Thank
Turf.
you.
Yeah, thanks, man. We appreciate it. Anything we can do to help other people in the community too. So,
Oh yeah.
guys ought to check out Friday night if you know Turf. Actually, Death by Turf. I think I've seen you in the chat room on the Friday night show. I mean, that's a good time too because we get a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
us on there. So you get so many different points of views and fun stuff. I'll tell you what, I can't wait for the Monday night game
Oh yeah.
because if Turf does a live show, I definitely want to get on that. If he doesn't,
It'll be
then I
dope.
think are you going to that game? No,
I'm
you're not going to that,
I'm
right?
not. I'm going to be at a special like viewing place. I don't know if you've seen it
Oh,
probably on social media. It's called
yeah,
Cosm in downtown or in
yeah.
Inglewood, I should say. That's gonna be sick. I'm definitely gonna try to do some content there.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was I'll probably get on that Monday night during the game because that was fun on Black Friday.
Oh
Getting
yeah.
on there doing that. That was a good time.
I
You
bet.
know.
Mhm.
Well, especially because we were so excited and, because we were playing so good, and we finally had something to fucking cheer about. It's the one game that I wish as a club we were together at the bar because, we would have been cheering and whooping and hollering like a bunch of idiots,
Yeah.
only to be let down again at the end, you know.
Right. Exactly.
So this Sunday will be anybody that's in the area. We're going to be at the Providence Firefighters Hall. It's a 1 o'clock game against Tampa Bay, Providence, Rhode Island. That's where we'll be. It'll be myself and all our other club members, just like we do every Sunday. So if anybody's in the New England area, get in touch with me, and we'll hook you up. We'll get you the directions and how to get there and everything. It's always a good time when you
Mhm.
can when you can experience going, not to an actual physical game, but going somewhere like a bar or whatever with a bunch of Raider fans.
Yeah, it's always the best.
I mean, it's easier for you guys out on the West Coast. I get it because there's so many Raider fans out there and
Mhm.
all the different locations you guys can go to. When you're in another part of the country, like in my case, I'm in New England.
Yeah.
I never knew there were this many Raider fans in New England until I became, involved with the club back in '06.
Mhm.
It's just awesome. It's just so much fun being able to experience watching a game with like-minded fans of the same team.
Right.
People that love them and hate them when they're good and then when they're bad.
Mhm.
And someone's, it's like a therapy session too. Because we're so bad right now. Everybody needs that emotional support. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're ever in the New England area, man, hit me up. Hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. We'll make arrangements. I'll meet up with anybody. I mean, I'm always open to meeting Raider fans.
Oh
That's why
yeah.
I'm dying to get out to a game out there so I can hook up with you guys and
Yeah,
hang
that'd
with
be
you because I mean
sick.
that'd be a fucking awesome time.
Hell yeah. But
You know.
yeah, thank you guys. Thank you everybody. Make sure to go ahead
Yeah,
and
thank you,
like,
everyone.
subscribe to both of our channels. You can see them right here on the screen, of course, and then we also put our link trees into the chat. But yeah, thank you everyone. Um, yeah, just win, baby.
Appreciate you all, man.